Hi there, and welcome to Northport Living. Whether you're looking for the best spots to explore, helpful home tips, or ways to stay connected with your community, we've got you covered. In this episode, we're diving into some exciting upcoming events with Northport Parks and Recreation and recognizing May as Drowning Prevention Month. From family-friendly fun to important safety tips, there's something for everyone. Stick around as we share how you can get involved, stay active, and keep our community safe this season. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Northport Living. Today, I am joined with Devon Poulos, the Aquatics Manager. Thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Cody.
Of course. So we're getting into the summer season. I know this is a big month for Parks and Recreation and a lot of events going on. What are some of the big events that Parks and Rec has coming up?
Yeah, so on May 24th, we have our Northport's Got Talent. This is our talent show that is Northport residents get to put in for it. It's from 6 p.m. until about 9 p.m. there. It's $5 a ticket. You can either come into the community centers or you can purchase them online. We showcase about 30 different acts. They're from singing groups to dancing groups to cheerleaders. It's just a really fun time for the community. Typically, we have right around 500 to 600 people that show up there. And then one of my favorite events there is I'm actually one of the hosts. So I co-host the event there, and not going to give the spoiler alert, but if you've come to Northport's Got Talent, myself and Laura Ansel, the other co-host, we always do a performance. So this year we're working on our performance there, and it's going to be an awesome time there. So that's May 24th there. As we continue rolling through the month, with the hurricane season we had last year, the school system schedule kind of shifted there. So our first day of summer hours will actually be May 30th. Now, this year, we took our hours, we analyzed them, we evaluated them, and we have decided that we are going to stay open every Friday in the summer. So that will be beginning May 30th, and it will end on August 8th. Every Friday, we're open until 9 p.m. now. That's 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. So that's 2 extra hours longer that you get to enjoy in the park there. Last summer, we had Beat the Heat series. That's going to kind of go away because this is replacing it there. Starting on May 30th, we're also open 7 days a week. So once again, Saturday through Thursday, we're open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Fridays, we're open 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. there. We have a whole slew of swimming lessons going on between those time frames. Our water aerobics classes are still going on. It's going to be a really fun time there. And then looking at June 26th is our world's largest swimming lesson. So this is something that is put on by the World Water Park Association, but it's not mandatory to participate. But if you do participate, you record who shows up. They put it all together. And between about a 4-day period, everyone across the world teaches a swimming lesson at that time. So our times are between 8 and 9 or 5 to 6. You can sign up online on RecTrack or you can show up that day. We'll do a 30-minute lesson, then we'll have time for swim evaluations, get you signed up for swimming lessons. It's completely free to join that event, and it's just, once again, a really fun time there.
Why is it important for the Aquatic Center to host an event like the world's largest swim lesson?
Absolutely. So Florida right now, we are ranked the 4th highest for unintentional drowning deaths under the age of 4, and that's out of all the states here. That's a number we look to hopefully continue to move, and hopefully one day we'll get to where we're not ranked at all because there's 0 drownings happening. So it's really important to give that equal access there to everyone to be able to come and join and try a swimming lesson, try out the water park, see what it is, and just become familiar with water safety.
With that, are there any other new programs or classes or features? I know you said during the summer hours there's tons of swim lessons and classes and stuff
Absolutely.
like that. What are some of the other classes, programs, or even new features that are at the Aquatic Center this summer?
Yeah, so we are completely excited, ecstatic, I should say, that all of our Hurricane Ian repairs are finally complete there. So every single slide's been repainted. Every single shade structure's back up. Our fencing at the base of the slides are back up. It's really been a good time. The Aquatic Center, we've now been operating since spring break, so since March. We're seeing record numbers. We've never seen these before. I've been there since it was dirt in the ground there, so it's really an awesome experience. Swimming lessons, we teach those Tuesday through Thursdays. The first session there is going to start on June 3rd. Typically, we teach 2 weeks. We take a week off for rainouts. We can't avoid that in Florida. The sunshine has to come with some rain there. And then we do have hydrofit classes. So those are taught Tuesday through Friday in the mornings, 8:30 to 9:30, and it's a $4 drop-in fee.
Awesome. And if you haven't seen the cribs video that you and I shot together, take a look at it if you want to get familiar with the Aquatics Center and all the amazing things at Devon's crib. Go check out that video. I will put the link in the show notes if you have missed that. I know you had mentioned rain, which is inevitable here in Florida. How can families stay up to date to what's going on at the Aquatics Center? Any updates throughout the day?
Yeah, so on our website, northportfl.gov/pool, there is a lightning alert system that will let you know if there's lightning within an 8-mile radius. We close down for 30 minutes. It's an automatic alarm system. If it's raining, we're talking sprinkling, our facilities stay open for that. The only time we close down for rain is when the water becomes that we cannot see the bottoms, and for safety reasons, we have to close the pool. That could be for 5 minutes. It could be for 10 minutes. Nice thing is we do have a rain check mechanism. So if you've been in the park less than 2 hours and the closure lasts longer than an hour, you get a rain check to come back within 6 months to utilize that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know you had mentioned that, kind of switching gears here, Florida is 4th in the nation for unintentional drowning deaths. May is Drowning Prevention Month.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about why this is so important?
Yeah, absolutely. So, last year we lost 108 under the age of 18 in drowning in the state of Florida alone. Our numbers were actually closer to 500 when you include the adults in there. So when we're talking drowning prevention, we're talking about safety around canals, rivers, lakes, streams, whatever you want to call them there, playgrounds, where kids are not intended to get in the water, but their ball rolls into the water there. So we have a lot of stuff planned this month, a lot of PSAs going out on the Facebook page. And our goal about this is educate, educate, educate. We have roughly about 45 kids signed up in swimming lessons right now. We're finishing up our 2nd grade swim program. Our Josh the Otter, which is all about drowning prevention, will be making several appearances throughout the summer there. But the goal of this is we want to keep everyone safe in, on, and around the water.
What are some of the key things that parents or caregivers should know to help keep kids safe?
Yeah, so first thing is when you're around anybody of water or you're watching a child there, you have to have a water watcher. That means somebody who's not on their phone, they're paying attention to the child at all points in time. If the child's a non-swimmer, we prefer that a parent has a hand on them. They're holding them there so you know where they're at there. When you need to go inside, if your child wants to stay in the water, bring them inside with you. Make sure you review your safety plan. Make sure your kids, if they're old enough, they can at least know your address or your phone number, know what your name is. There's another video. You guys have been amazing for the comms team of shooting these safety videos, but there's a video on our Facebook page showing the different colored bathing suits that are, appropriate. We're not telling you can't go out and get a blue bathing suit, but we're just letting you know that if your child's at the bottom of the pool, a bright orange bathing suit is more visible than a blue one that might blend in. So it's just important that we're watching. We're putting these cell phones down. They've become such a distractor to parents there. And making sure if you're taking your eyes off that water, you've designated that back to somebody else to maintain that.
I think that safety video was very interesting because you think that swimsuit looks good above the water, and then once it's in the water, it almost changes colors completely, where you don't even recognize that color is the color that it is outside of the water. So that video is pretty interesting to see the difference. What are the other colors too? I know blue obviously is kind of the big one because that is with the water. But
anything that matches. So if you even have dark blues or those light colors, maybe even whites, things like that are going to blend in, especially when you ripple the water. Our lifeguards at the facility, we test this through zone testing with silhouettes and mannequins and actual people. Can you see this? And they let us know yes or no, and that's how we adjust zones at the Aquatics Center. But yes, it's super important.
What are some of the kind of misconceptions about water safety that we want to clear up?
Yeah, so the big one for me is there's no such thing as almost drowned. People say, I almost drowned. Well, either you drowned and you had an active drowning, you drowned and it resulted with brain injuries, or unfortunately the last one is fatal drowning. But we want to make sure we get that out there. The other big misconception is, people think drowning's loud and it's water splashing and screaming. Over 80% of drownings occur, there is no sound whatsoever, because when that person's thinking about gasping for air or trying to get assistance, the last thing they're thinking about is screaming. So those are some of the common ones. Another big one, which might take people by surprise because I have a staff of 35 of them, is that people are 100% safe in lifeguarded pools. Lifeguards are still humans. We do know statistically you're 80% safer at a pool that has a lifeguard, but that still leaves a margin of 12% there. So that's why it's a joint. The staff, we're constantly training them. We're making sure that they're staying up to date on their skills. But, a lot of people, we're seeing a lot of posts going on right now with Lifeguarding Association. Lifeguards are not babysitters. They're there to watch the safety in the pool. And when those distractions start happening with, kids running or kids throwing this or those items there, that's taking away from their number one safety, which is to watch that water.
I think one of the other things, too, that I've heard you talk about in other areas is the bathtub.
Yep.
And I think that is also very important, that drowning isn't just tied to pools or canals or
Absolutely.
it's any body of water.
Yeah, anybody, a bucket, a Home Depot bucket with water, any kind of item there that has any water and is, slip and slides, people bring them out. Water slides, if you actually read some of these inflatable water slides you can get, they say, make sure you have somebody at the end. But you're exactly right. Bathtubs there's a gentleman just against children drowning, lost both of his twins in a bathtub, and he's actually taken this. It's an amazing organization. They're based in Port Charlotte, and he builds fences now for pools. Awesome organization, but unfortunately, that was a bathtub incident, so that it does occur.
How does swim instruction kind of help reduce the risk of drowning in kids and even adults?
Yeah. Absolutely. So in the state of Florida, and it's important people know this, it's in the state statute that you have to be certified by a certifying agency to teach swimming lessons. So these aren't people that we just took off, go watch a YouTube video, and there you go. They put in about 38 hours of class time there before we release them out to teach swimming lessons. And the main goal of this is to work with the individual. Swimming classes are group classes, but they're also individual. And it's to work with them to gain the confidence, the knowledge, the relaxation to be able to make those maneuvers. Every action is going to have a reaction. So we need the kids to understand when you let go of that wall, you need to make sure you can get back to it. We work on floating, proper kicking, arm movement. All those pieces culminate to a strong swimmer. And you're exactly right. We have I just actually looked at the June numbers. We have 7 adults signed up for adult swimming class. Adults are starting to figure out, hey, I need to get into swimming as well. So it's definitely awesome that we offer it.
And one thing that I want to mention too, and this is a misconception I know I have had in the past, and I think other people have had as well, and maybe not so much now as when I was even maybe in my late teens, early 20s, that lifeguards aren't just high school kids for a summer job. And I want you to talk about how much training your lifeguards go through and the certifications that you and other leadership at the Aquatics Center at More Mineral Springs have, that residents should know that if they are at those facilities, like, you are in good hands.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the base lifeguard certification course right now, the one that we teach, is a blended learning portion. So the lifeguards actually do 6 hours of work via the computer on home, watching the videos and things. Then they come in, and it's about a 21.5-hour course there. So right there, you're looking at close to 27.5 minutes there for the course. Then they come in. Our standard, the Red Cross requires that guards have in-service every single month. Across both facilities, our guards are required to have 4 hours of in-service training. That might be physical fitness training. That might be rescues. It could be how to document reports. 4 hours of training every single month. If they do not meet those 4 hours, they're taken off the schedule until they can catch those 4 hours back up, because it's super serious to us. Then on top of that, we are fortunate we have lifeguard instructors in the facility, which are those that have been certified to teach people how to be lifeguards. So between the division, we probably have 6 or 7 lifeguard instructors. Wow. Then on top of that, I hold a lifeguard instructor trainer, so I can actually train people on how to train lifeguards there. And then our assistant manager is a water safety instructor trainer, so he can actually teach people how to be swimming lessons. So we are a full-blown training agency ourselves, and we uphold those standards. We have people come in from all over the state to take our classes, to learn how to do those items, but you're exactly right. We have people that do come in, and it is a summer job for them, but we also have lifeguards that come in, they get that summer certification, and then they go off to college, and they're guarding at their pools, or they come back to us in the summer, and they're guarding here. We let our staff know this is not a typical 16-year-old job, and if that's what you're looking for, this is not the division that you want to be a part of. We have a very serious job. I have 3 young kids. I know you got kids as well. when we take our families to the facility, I know that we're in good hands for the staffing. I want everybody in this community to know that we have the best lifeguards around.
Yeah, absolutely. I know whenever I'm there, I'm comfortable knowing that my daughter and myself even are in good hands. And I don't want to not include myself because I can swim, I can keep my head above water, but I wouldn't call myself a swimmer.
Right, exactly.
What other resources or programs are out there to help families with swim lessons or water safety training?
Yeah, so I got to tell you, Northport community, you guys have an awesome support system here. Your Rotary Club loves Northport, loves drowning prevention, loves all those pieces about water safety. The Harbor Isles Grandmothers Club, they donate every single year to us, typically between $200 and $500. The biggest thing is we do not want money to be a barrier. If somebody is looking at this and saying, $40 is a lot of money because I'm worried about dinner for tomorrow, you need to reach out to our social services division here in the city of Northport. They'll have you fill out an application. All we see on our end is an approved or denied. And what they're looking at is make sure you meet their income requirements. You live in the city of Northport. There is scholarship dollars out there right now. We just got done enrolling 10 people last week off scholarships there. We do not want it to be a barrier. And I have to give a shout out right here to our commission, who has done a big job about making sure those water safety, those swimming lesson numbers are affordable there. We could charge $100 for swim classes, but you're not going to be able to give the access to everyone there. So we have a really fair rate, $40 for residents, $45 for non-residents. We just want to make sure everybody has access to that, but there are resources out there, and it's with our Northport Social Services.
And those scholarships are available for children and adults?
Children and adults.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's super important. What safety tips would you share for people when visiting, whether it's a pool, a beach, as you mentioned, a water slide or a slip and slide, a splash pad, any of those kind of backyard water features? What safety tips would you have?
You need to understand the rules that you're at. Every water park's different. I was at Disney's Blizzard Beach doing a behind-the-scene tour. When lightning happens there, they don't clear out the park. At our park, we clear out the park. Every park has different rules. The wave pool might say waves come every 15 minutes at this park and every 20 minutes at the... You got to just understand those items. I'd pay attention if you're at the beach to what the flags the lifeguards are flying. That's just not how they're feeling that day. It's not their emotional flag. They have meetings behind them there. So a couple weeks ago, we had some pretty serious rip currents up and down the coast, all the way from about Tampa to Fort Myers. So pay attention to what those items are. Know what your child's wearing, and your child should know what you're wearing. We see this all the time at the Aquatics Center. I don't know where my kid is. Well, what is your child wearing? I think they're wearing purple bathing suit trunks, and we're looking for purple to come to find out the kid's wearing red. So it just delays our response a little bit more there. So that's important there. And then, proper hydration, proper, sun protection. And when I say sun protection, I'm not meaning just sunscreen. That's sunglasses, that's swim shirts, that's hats, that's umbrellas. Those are all things that have sun protection, but those are some of the main ones there.
First, I want to say thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Ton of great information, covering whether it's events or the pool or beach or any of the different kind of water features that we have out there. If you had to summarize, if I had 30 seconds to elevator pitch of drowning prevention and water safety, what would that be?
Yeah, so, drowning prevention, we have to talk about it because the numbers are continuing to rise. So people just need to be aware that drowning, there's no cute way to talk about it. There's no cuddly way to talk about it. We just need to address it. Drowning is preventable. Adults, we need to be adults. We need to be watching our children, putting our phones down, focusing on them in the water, getting them equipped with swimming lessons. If they can't swim, putting a life jacket on them. That's our responsibility. Alarms, locks, all those pieces. But the biggest thing is throughout this month is just continuing to talk about it because the numbers are continuing to go up. Before COVID, the highest number was that we had seen in the recent years was 67 drownings. We're now at 108 5 years later. We are going in the wrong direction. So I appreciate the opportunity to talk about these items and really make sure that we're spreading the word to make sure, number one, it doesn't happen here in Northport, but our reach can reach the entire state with what we're doing here on our social media. So we really do appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much, Cody. Yep.
You've been listening to Northport Living. We'll be back soon with more tips, events, and inspiration. Until then, get out there and explore all the amazing things our city has to offer. See you next time.